Hello, my name is Gabe Zollner. I read an interesting article on Western Center for Journalism, and it had to do with AutoZone. Around Thanksgiving of this year, apparently there was a store that a robber targeted, and it was an AutoZone store. And in that store was an employee that is retired from the Air Force. And both he and his manager were confronted by this robber. The robber then walked them to the back room, put the employee in the back room, and took the manager over to the safe. While the robber was being somewhat distracted, the employee snuck out the back door, went to his automobile, retrieved a handgun, came back into the store, and told the robber to drop his weapon. At that point, the robber took off into the streets. And as far as I'm concerned, the retired Air Force employee was a hero. He probably saved his manager's life, if not his own as well, because obviously they were both able to identify this individual if, in fact, he was successful with his robbery. Now, AutoZone has some strange policies, and one of the policies is that they prohibit their employees from either possessing or having access to handguns. And by doing so, what they've really done is they've put out an advertisement notice to any potential robber. Come on and get us. None of us are armed, and none of our employees are armed, and we're open for business. Well, the problem with that is what happens if some robbers confront one of their stores when there's employees in those stores? And is it not proper to allow people to defend themselves in situations like that? I think it is. In either case, I think AutoZone needs to rethink their policies, as well as a lot of other companies. More important, I think that certain states need to revisit their policies as well, like California, for example. Why is it that California can dictate who can and who can't have a weapon? Why is it that Detroit has one of the highest murder rates in the country, and their citizens are not allowed to have weapons? Well, if they're not allowed to have weapons, how do they have so many shooting murders every year? I think Flint, Michigan has the highest in the nation, and they're not allowed to have weapons. Well, then how are these people getting killed? They're getting killed by people that shouldn't have weapons that have weapons, and those are the ones that you can't control. You can control an honest citizen, sure, because what they do is when they go buy a weapon, their name's called into the FBI, to a center, to determine if they're eligible. If they don't have any criminal records, then they're allowed to purchase a weapon. But the people that are killing people, 99% of those people were never given a weapon legally. And that's the problem with trying to control the distribution of weapons. It's virtually impossible to do. It's no different than trying to control the drugs. You can't control the drugs, so what if you can control the weapons? People should be allowed to protect themselves. And you know, it's really interesting. All of these people that demand that their citizens in their states don't have access to weapons to protect themselves, guess what they have? They have 24/7 armed guards. Yeah, what sense does that make? Why is their life more precious than somebody else's? It isn't. Yet they shouldn't be allowed to dictate what they do. There's something wrong with the system. Let's fix it.